Hi everyone, it's Miss Olivia. So this week we did a really fun trolls class, and I promised my friends that were on there with me that I would show them how to do a fun trolls craft. So I'm going to show it two different ways because I know that we're kind of stuck at home. We might not have the usual materials that we have. So there's many different ways you can do this. I'm going to show you two, and I'll tell you about the different things you could use if you didn't have some of the materials. So you do need glue or tape. For this first one, we're going to be using construction paper. So I have, this is actually cardstock, but construction paper would work too. I have a light pink and a dark pink. You can guess who we're going to be making. And then some sort of blue and some sort of green. And you also need some scissors for this one too. So if you don't normally use scissors, don't start today. Ask a grown-up for help, okay? Plus the cutting out part might be a little bit tricky, so you might want a grown-up's help. Okay, so we are going to be making Princess Poppy out of our hands. Can you believe it? So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna get your light pink. Now, if you don't have light pink, or dark pink or any color paper, you can use white paper and do all of these steps. The only thing that you can do extra is if you can use crayon, colored pencil, markers to color it the color that you want. So you can use white and just color it a light pink when we're all done. But if you have light pink paper, that might be a little bit easier. So you're gonna put your hand down onto the paper and make it as big as you can, right? Nice and wide. And then you're going to just take a pen or a pencil and trace. And go slow here. Take your time. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you don't want to rush. Awesome. Then when you're done, you can just kind of lift your hand and close it off. So it looks like that. So I'm going to just like round it out over here. Alrighty. Next step is to cut. Now again, if you have a grown-up helping you at home or an older sister or brother helping you, you can ask them to do it. Make sure you say the word please. That always helps because it's kind of tricky. If you are practicing cutting at home and you feel comfortable using scissors and your grown-ups say it's okay, remember to use that helping hand to hold on to the paper, make little cuts. You might have to keep turning it, which is a little bit tricky, but you've got it. Okay, so you want to keep cutting until it's all cut out. I'm going to pause. I'll cut it out so you don't have to watch it. Alrighty, so you should have a light pink hand or a white one that you're going to color light pink out and ready to go. So the next thing, what we're going to do is we know that Princess Poppy is light pink, but her hair is this dark pink color. So what you're going to do is you can either retrace your actual hand or you can use the pink as a template. And we're going to make, we're going to trace these three fingers. So your pointer finger, your middle finger, and your ring finger, because that's what we're going to use for her hair. Can you start to picture what this is going to turn out like? It's so cool. So if you can see, I'm just going to start at the ring finger. And I'm kind of tracing so it's a little bit bigger. And that's totally fine because I don't want to get black marker on my pink hand. And I stop like that. And now the key thing is here is that you have, I know it's kind of tricky to see, you're tracing around that pointer finger. You want to go all the way down to just before the thumb, right? Because what we're going to do is you should have something that looks like this. Because what we're going to do next is we're going to take we're going to make a line from here down and from here over, so that it's going to be dark pink, dark pink, dark pink, but then there will be a little dark pink here and a little dark pink that goes down, sort of like around, if you think of these two things as Poppy's ears, sort of around that. This is kind of a tricky step, you might need help, but we traced our 3 fingers, and then we're gonna make a line, foop, and a line, foop, and then just around her face. I'll show you. So I'm actually gonna use this hand as my little marker here. So if you can see what I'm doing, I'm using the tracing, so I'm like finding the other side of the pinky where I want that line to go, and then I can connect my fingers with that little dot, and then I'm gonna go out a little bit, and then around to the other side. Now, if it's not perfect, you can always fix it after. It looks something like this. I know, it's hard to picture. Okay, now we're gonna cut that out. If you need help, ask a grown-up. Alrighty, so I have my poppy hair, and I have my poppy head, and what I'm going to do is, I'm gonna line them up to see if it worked. And so it should look like this. It sort of looks like her hair is coming down like this. Now, my dark pink is a little bit longer right here than my light pink, if you can see. No big deal. I'm not going to get upset. I'm just going to trim it. Like a little poppy haircut. Perfect. Okay, now you can either tape or glue the hair. I'm going to try to use the glue, but I'll be honest with you, my glue stick is kind of running out here. So I would just put a little bit of glue or tape on each of the fingers. And right about where the hair comes down on the pinky and the thumb. Use some tape too. Alrighty. So now we tape that on, we glue it on. And you can trim this up too, if you need to. Like if there's some pink showing, some light pink showing through, you just trim around it. That totally works. Alrighty, are you starting to see the picture here? Exciting. Okay, so now we know that this poppy is a queen now, right? So we have to make her a crown, of course. So I'm going to take my green. Now remember, if you don't have green paper, what are you going to do? Use white paper and color it. And I'm going to sort of measure out my little crown for her. So I'm going to put like the edge right on the edge of her hand. And then right around there, so I can kind of see how much I need. And I'm sort of just going to do a rounded headband shape. And I think it's a little bit bigger than what I'll need, but I can always fix it. Perfect. So I'm going to cut that corner off so it's nice and round. Okay, so something like that. And I'm going to just put it right across her, like a headband, like a crown, where her crown would sit. I'm going to trim a little bit, it's a little too long. And I'm going to use tape, but you could use glue. Oops. Make sure you line it up right where you want it. Oh my goodness, there we go. Another good strategy is to draw the shape you want on your paper. And then cut it out. Alrighty, so there's her headband or her crown. And then I just cut out these kind of funny little flower shapes already. And I only cut out 3, but you can cut out as many as you want. And you're just going to tape those or glue them right on the crown, the green crown. I have like 1 big one and 2 small ones. I would say, depending on how big they are, either 3 or 4 would be a good number of flowers. For this. Ta-da! Alrighty. So the last thing you need to do is you'll need a pink marker and a black marker. So with a black marker, you're going to do, or pen or pencil, is you're going to draw 2 little like rainbow shape for her eyebrows. And then underneath, you're going to draw 2 ovals for her eyes. And then you can shade in, draw like a little half of a circle and a little rainbow, and then you can color it in black. Nice job. Like that. And then the mouth, I'm going to show you, you can do like a practice. Oops, I forgot one thing. Around the eyes, you can put these little lines. They're sort of like, because she's always smiling, they're sort of like her little smile lines, makes it look a little bit more realistic. I put 4. So for her mouth, what you do is you draw a smile shape and then connect it at the top. So you have that like mouth smile shape like that. It's also a half circle or a semicircle, right? And then you start at this corner, or any corner really, and do little bumps for her teeth. And then you shade in the bottom part. And make sure when you do the mouth, you leave room for the nose. I'll show you how we'll do the nose after. Like that. And then you color the bottom part black. Now, if you're really fancy, you could cut with white paper. You could cut the teeth shape out so that she has white teeth. But I don't think you need to, or you have to do that. Alrighty, so there she is with her mouth. Okay, so the last thing, you'll need a pink marker for this. So you're gonna draw 2 little pink lines for her ears. And then her nose. So her nose like looks really tricky to draw, but it's not. So you first want to do 1 C, the letter C, a baby C, just like that. And then from the end of the C, you draw a bigger bump, sort of like a sideways C or upside down C, coming out both ways like that. And then you connect them with a backwards C. So it's like that. And then you color it in. And it's okay if your marker doesn't match perfectly. Mine doesn't really either. And there you have a Princess Poppy. You could do the same thing. You could make a branch too, with like a light blue and a dark blue or a black for the hair. But same face, right? Same face and nose, just different colors. So there you have the first way you can make a Princess Poppy. Now remember, if you don't have all the same colored paper that I have, you can use white paper and just color it with a marker or a crayon or a colored pencil, how you want it to look, which colors you want to choose. But there you have one way. Yay! All right, so the second way that you could make this craft at home is a way that we can use paint and our hands again. So you'll need paint and a paintbrush, a white piece of paper, and scissors for us to cut it out, and some markers too. So you want to cover your counter, your space. Again, make sure you talk to your grown-ups about this so that they can help you and make sure that it's okay for something that you to do. They might have a special way or special place you want to do that, so always make sure you're talking to them first about it. And the first thing you do is you paint your hand. So you want to cover it in a lot of paint. Again, messy, but it's kind of fun and it feels kind of cool. But definitely make sure you're checking with your grown-up so that they can help you with this. Alrighty, so you go put a lot of paint on there. Now I'm using like Crayola paint because it's safe, it's washable. If you have finger paint, that works too. I probably wouldn't use anything else, any other kind of paint, because I don't know if that would be safe for to be on your skin. So you definitely want to check with your grown-up about that. You want to get your hand nice and pink. Kind of cool. I already feel like Princess Poppy. Alrighty, ta-da! And so once you feel like you've got a good amount of paint on your hands, you're ready to go. You spread open your fingers and stick it right on. Now when you do this, it might be a little bit squiggly, so you want to be slow and careful. And then you just gently pull up. And what happened, because my hand didn't go all the way flat, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add my paintbrush and fill it in. Some of the spots that didn't quite hit it. Alrighty. So you will see, ta-da, a pink handprint. All right, now stay tuned. Go wash your hands, and you have to let the paint part dry. So we'll be right back with clean hands and dry paint. All right, so I have clean hands again. I cut out my hand just so I can do some of the white paper. I'll show you for what. And I'm gonna just move it over and let it dry and try not to touch it. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, while we wait for it to dry, you can cut out, I cut out from white paper 2 eyes, or 2 ovals, so they're the shape of the eyes. And I'm going to draw the black part of the eye so that it looks more realistic. So I'm just going to shade that in. There's 1 and 2. Okay, so I have my 2 eyes for Poppy. If you have googly eyes at home, those also work fantastic. I do not have googly eyes here, but you can make them. But if you do have them, that's fun to do too. Then I'm going to use my same paper that I was using to make her crown. I'm going to show you how you can just kind of trace it. Like that to cut it out. So you can do all this stuff, kind of get it ready. Because then what we'll do is similar to what we just did, we'll just glue it or tape it on our handprint. You could also, once the paint dries, you could do this with paint too. If you have other colors and you feel like painting, you can do that. So I have the green part for her crown. And then I'm going to get my blue sheet for her flowers. And I'm going to do 1 big flower and 2 small flowers. There's 1, and they're not really flower shapes, they're kind of like blob shapes, but I kind of like the way they look. A trick for If you want to make two of something, if you fold the paper in half or like double the paper up, you can cut two at the same time. I'm going to do two smaller ones in a similar blob shape. Alrighty. And then you just glue or tape those. So you're going to do all of that. You're going to tape those things together. I'm also going to cut out a nose out of the pink paper I used for my other project. I'm going to cut out a nose, or you could just draw a nose once the paint is dry. Either way. So there's her little headband or her crown. So remember to draw, I'm going to use a scrap paper so I'm not wasting anything. To draw her nose, you do the letter a little C, and then you do a little rainbow shape and a smile shape, and then a backward C, like so, to cut out her nose. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It will look great as long as you try your best and you're having some fun. This is just a fun activity that you can do. You could even gift this craft to somebody, maybe someone who has a holiday on Sunday. Uh-oh, my tape. There we go. All right. So we have my hand is just about dry. So I'm going to tape our nose on, and I'm going to tape on her eyes and her headband. This looks so great. Awesome, awesome. And then for her mouth, oops, you can see her so far. Looking good. And then for her mouth, I'm going to use some scraps of my paper and do the same thing. Make a smile shape and connect the top. You make your little mini smile shapes for her teeth and then color it in. All right, and then you cut that out. And you can tape that right on to your poppy hand. And there you have it. Ta-da! So we have two ways to make Princess Poppy. You can also do this with brand. You just switch up the colors. And there we have it. So just a fun little craft. We know that you guys love to be creative and you love these kinds of fun things. And to go along with our Trolls Day, keep checking your email for other classes, and we're going to have some other fun themed classes coming up. So keep checking your email, keep coming online with Zoom. We love to see you, okay? All right, bye everybody.